So now, before going to start the session, so let me ask you one question like, so anyone has any idea what is the purpose of DevOps or why DevOps? Whether it is right or wrong, you can answer. What is the purpose of DevOps or why DevOps? Can anyone? You can unmute and speak, no problem. So remember guys, so these sessions are going to be the interactive sessions. Okay. So whether it is right or wrong, you can answer. What is the purpose of DevOps or why DevOps? Can anyone? Offline. Okay. So let me tell you with simple example. Let's say if you are trying to book a mobile, you are trying to book a mobile. So now tell me any two e-commerce applications that are available in the market. Now tell me any two e-commerce applications that are available in the market. So absolutely Swiggy, sorry, Amazon, Amazon as well as Flipkart. So we are having Amazon and we are having what? Flipkart. Right or not? Now see here, the mobile cost is going to be 10,000 rupees. So what was the mobile cost here? 10,000 rupees. Now, so the same cost, so the same mobile, Amazon can deliver within 3 days. So the same cost, same mobile, Amazon can deliver within 3 days. Again, so the same cost, so the same mobile, whereas in Flipkart, it can deliver within 7 days. Within 7 days. So which one we will choose, sir? Which one we will choose? Same cost, same mobile, Amazon can deliver within 3 days. Again, so the same cost, so the same mobile, whereas in Flipkart, it can deliver within 7 days. Which one we will choose? So absolutely Amazon, right? That's perfect. So here my question was like, why Amazon? Why Amazon? Because it's delivering fast. Perfect. Whereas in the same way, in the similar way, let's say if you are trying to create an application, if you are trying to create an application, or if you are trying to create a software, if you are trying to create a software, so DevOps is going to be the fastest way. DevOps is going to be the fastest way. If you are trying to create an application or if you are trying to create a software, DevOps is going to be the fastest way. So clear for all of you? Why DevOps? So online, clear for all of you. Why DevOps? So if you want to create a software or if you want to create an application, DevOps is going to be the fastest way. Okay. Now see here. If you want to create an application or if you want to create a software, here what I need to follow? I need to follow a life cycle called SDLC. What we need to follow here? We need to follow a life cycle called SDLC. Nothing but what? Software development life cycle. What was that? Software development life cycle. So we are the humans, right? We are the humans, right? We are having the human life cycle, right or not? In the same manner, for the software also, there is a life cycle called SDLC. Nothing but what? Software development life cycle. What was that? Software development life cycle. Now, in the software development life cycle, totally we are having two teams. How many teams we are having in the SDLC? We are having two teams. So one was the development team. What was the first one here? Development team. So the second one was like operational team. What was the second one here? Operational team. So in the SDLC, totally how many teams we are having? We are having two teams. So one was the development team. So the second one was like operational team. Now see here. One was the development team. So the second one was like operational team. So now let us discuss what they are going to do. So the development team, first, what they will do, sir? They are going to do the plan. So after plan, what we are having? We are having the code. After code, what we are having? We are having the build. After build, what we are having here? We are having the test. So after test, we are having deploy, operate, as well as monitor. So development team will do plan, code, build, as well as test. And operational team will do deploy, operate, as well as monitor. Now let us discuss one by one. What is meant by plan, code, build, as well as test, and also deploy, operate, as well as monitor. Let us discuss one by one. Now, so the first one is about what? It's going to be the plan, right? So the first one is about what? It's going to be the plan. Now, what is meant by plan? What is meant by plan? Let me tell you with simple example. So the first one is about what? It's going to be the plan. Now, let me go with the simple example. Let's say if you are trying to construct an building, if you are trying to construct an building. So ultimately, we should have some plan, right? So totally, how many stairs we are going to be construct, what type of materials we are going to use, how many workers we are going to be implement. Okay, so what is the timeline for your building? Okay, so what type of materials we are going to use? So how many bedrooms? So these all are the plan, right? These all are the plan. So whereas in the same way, in the similar way, if you want to create an application, if you want to create an application, we should have the plan first. What should we have here? We should have the plan first. So the first one is about name of the application. What was the first one here? So the first one is about name of the application. Let's say I'm going to create the Paytm application. What we are going to create here? We are going to create the Paytm application. Next. So the next one is about how many services we are going to be implement. So here services are nothing but recharge, bank transaction, movie tickets, train tickets, as well as bus tickets. Okay. So totally, I want to implement 5 services. What are they? Recharge, bank transactions, movie tickets, train tickets, as well as bus tickets. Next. So the third one was like how many developers you are going to implement. How many developers you are going to be implement. Nothing but development team. So totally, I want to implement 5 developers. I want to implement 5 developers. Next. So the fourth one was like, on which technology you want to create your Paytm application. So you want to create your application in Java na, or in .NET or in Python. So on which technology you want to create your Paytm application. Okay. Next. What is the timeline for your application? Timeline. So you want to create your application within 1 year or 2 years or in 3 years. What is the timeline for your application? Next. What is the budget for your application? Nothing but money. What is the budget for your application? Next. On which cloud? On which cloud you want to implement your Paytm application? So in market, majorly we are having 3 cloud providers, right? So can anyone? In market, majorly we are having 3 cloud providers. Who are they? Can anyone? You can unmute and speak, or you can type in the chat box. Offline, you guys can also. AWS, Azure, as well as GCP. That's perfect. AWS, Azure, GCP. Perfect. So this is completely about the plan, guys. This is completely about the plan. So now let me know, clear for all of you about the plan? Just try to confirm me in chat box once. Yeah, Gayatri, Jayalakshmi, Kartikeya, Roshita. Clear for all of you? Done. So great. So after plan, what we are having here? We are having the code. What we are having here? We are having the code. Now, what is meant by code? What is meant by code? So this phase was very important. So just try to observe carefully, guys. Just try to observe carefully. After plan, what we are having? We are having the code. Now, what is meant by code? So see here. Whatever the development team I have involved in my planning phase, these developers are going to write the code according to my requirements. I'm going to repeat one more time. So see here, whatever the development team I have involved in my planning phase, these developers are going to write the code according to my requirements. So here, what's my requirement? Recharge, bank transactions, movie tickets, train tickets, as well as bus tickets. Okay. So I want to add one more point here. Remember, as a DevOps engineer, we are not going to write any code. We are not going to write any code. Remember, it's going to be the 100% free of code. It's going to be the 100% free of code. So as a DevOps engineer, we are not going to write any code. Okay. So it's going to be what? 100% free of code. Ultimately, whatever the development team I have involved in my planning phase, these developers are going to write the code according to my requirements. As a DevOps engineer, we are not going to write any code. It's going to be the 100% free of code. Okay. Clear for all of you about the code? Clear? Just try to confirm in chat box once, guys. That's great. Perfect. Now, after code, what we are having here? We are having the build. What we are having here? We are having the build. Now, what is mean by build? What is mean by build? So this was very important. So just try to understand. I mean to say, just try to observe carefully here. After code, what we are having? We are having the build. Now, what is mean by build? What is mean by build? So observe carefully. Let's say development team has written the code. Who will write the code? Development team has written the code. So on which language they have using? Let's say they have using the Java language. Which language they have using? Java. So when we see the Java code, remember, when we see the Java code, when we see the Java, we can able to read it, right? We can able to read it. So this is string, this is loop, this is function. We can able to read it. So this is nothing but what? This is nothing but human readable language. What was that? Human readable language. But at the end, whatever the code we are having, whatever the code we are having, we need to place those code on there. We need to place those code on the server. Where we need to place here? We need to place on the server. Remember, server, mission, laptop, device, all are the same. Let me go with the simple one. Server is nothing but laptop. Okay. Now, but the server, but the mission will only understand what? It can only understand the binary level language. Other than that, mission can't understand anything. Other than that, mission can't understand anything. So here converting the code into binary format. Converting the code into binary format are called build. Converting into binary form are nothing but what? It's going to be the build. Clear for all of you? What is meant by build here? Online. Just try to confirm in chat box once. That's perfect. So after build, what we are having here? We are having the test. What we are having? We are having the test. Now, what is meant by test? What is meant by test? Let me tell you. So see here, after that, what we are having? We are having the test. Now, what is meant by test? Let me tell you. Let's say this is my server. This is my server. So in my server, totally I am having my Paytm application. What we are having? We are having the Paytm application. So in that Paytm application, what we have created? We have created the recharge, bank transactions, movie tickets, train tickets, as well as bus tickets we are having. Okay. Now observe carefully. Let's say one of our user is trying to access our Paytm application. So one of our user is trying to access our Paytm application. So that too, he is trying to access our bank transactions. That too, he is trying to access the bank transactions. Let's say he know, right, how much amount was there in his bank account. Totally he know. Let's say he is having 20,000 rupees. In his bank account, he is having 20,000 rupees. Okay. But the moment he is trying to access the Paytm, that to bank transactions, it is showing only 5,000 rupees. It is showing only 5,000 rupees. Actually, in the bank, he is having 20,000 rupees. But in our Paytm application, it was showing only 5,000 rupees. So ultimately, this is going to be the bug, right? This is going to be the error, right? Error, right? So this type of bugs, this type of errors has been resolved in the testing part. Has been resolved in the testing part. But who will do testing? But who will do testing? Ultimately, we are having QAT. Nothing but what? Quality and analysis team. So in other words, this team also going to be called as testers. So testers will do test here. So clear for all of you about these 4 points. So what is mean by plan, code, build, as well as test. So let me recap it one more time for you. So in the SDLC, the first phase was like plan. Now what is mean by plan? So in the plan, we are having like what type of application we are going to create, how many services we are going to be create. Let's say the application is going to be the Paytm application. So in that Paytm application, how many services you want to implement. So let's say I want to implement 5 services, nothing but recharge, bank transactions, movie tickets, client tickets, as well as bus tickets. Next, how many developers you want to implement. So totally I want to implement 5 developers. Next, on which technology you want to create your Paytm application. So I want to create my Paytm application on Java. Next, what is the timeline for your application? So how much money you are going to be invest on your Paytm application? So on which cloud you want to create your Paytm application? So this is completely about the plan. So after plan, what we are having? We are having the code. Now, what is meant by code here? So whatever the development team we have involved in our planning phase, these developers are going to write the code according to our requirements. So here what's our requirement? Recharge, bank transactions, these all are our requirements only. Next, as a DevOps engineer, we are not going to write any code. It's going to be the 100% free of code. So after code, what we are having? We are having the builder. Now, what is meant by build? Converting the human readable language into mission understandable language are called build. Okay. So after build, what we are having? We are having the test. Now, what is meant by test? So here testers will do test like whether it was giving as expected or not. Okay. So testers will do some testing here. So clear for all of you about these 4 points online as well as offline. Clear for all of you. That's perfect. Next, after test, what we are having here? We are having the deploy. What we are having? We are having the deploy. Now, what is meant by deploy? So this was very important. So just try to observe carefully. Okay. So from here, just try to concentrate more on. After test, we are having deploy. Now, what is meant by deploy? So see, whatever the 100%, whatever the 100% test cases, test cases passed code. So this was very important. Whatever the 100% test cases passed code, placing those code over the server, placing those code over the server are nothing but deployment. Let's say this is a 100% test cases passed code, placing those code over the server. Let's say this is our server. This is our server. So placing those code over the server are nothing but what? Deployment. The process is going to be the deployment, guys. The process is going to be the deployment. Simply, we are going to call this as deploy. Simply, we are going to call this as deploy. Whatever the 100% test cases passed code, placing those code over the server are nothing but what? Deployment. Simply, we are going to call this as deploy. Next, after deploy, what we are having? We are having the operate. What we are having here? We are having the operate. Now, what is meant by operate? Now, what is meant by operate? So, observe carefully. Let's say this is my server. This is my server. So, in my server, totally I am having Paytm application. In our server, totally we are having what? We are having the Paytm application. Now, let's say once we have deployed our Paytm application over the server, ultimately users are going to access it. Right or not? Let's say my server capacity, my server capacity was 100 members. What was the server capacity here? 100 members. But the moment the user accessing our Paytm application, the user accessing our Paytm application from the server was about 100 plus members. Server capacity was 100 members. But the user accessing our Paytm application from the server was 100 plus members. So ultimately, at certain point of time, my server is going to be down. Right or not? My server is going to be down. So remember, here making the availability of 24/7 my server as well as 24/7 my application are nothing but what? It's going to be the operate, making the 24/7 my server as well as 24/7 my application are nothing but what? It's going to be the operate. Okay. Clear for all of you about the deploy as well as operate? Just try to confirm in chat box once, guys. So just for the interaction only. Clear for all of you? Yes. Next. After operate. What we are having? We are having the monitor. What we are having here? We are having the monitor. Now, see here. Monitor. So what is meant by monitor? So let's say again the same example. Let's say this is my server. This is my server. So in my server, what I am having? I am having the Paytm application. What we are having here? We are having the Paytm application. So once I have deployed my Paytm application over the server, so ultimately users are going to access it, right or not? So ultimately users will access our Paytm application. So the moment users are accessing our Paytm application, ultimately my server's CPU as well as RAM, my server's CPU as well as RAM is going to be increased, right or not? My server's CPU as well as RAM is going to be increased. Let's say at certain point of time, it crosses the threshold value, it crosses the mount value. So again my server is going to be down. Again my server is going to be down. So here monitoring the CPU as well as RAM are nothing but monitor. Monitoring the CPU as well as RAM are nothing but what? It's going to be the monitor. Clear for all of you about the monitor? Once the user accessing our Paytm application, remember, once the user accessing our Paytm application from the server, so automatically server's utilizations, nothing but CPU as well as RAM will be increased. Okay. So at certain point of time, it crosses the threshold value. It crosses the mount value. Again, my server is going to be down. So here monitoring the CPU as well as RAM utilizations are nothing but what? It's going to be the monitor. Clear? Online. Great. So if you observe carefully, we are done with the 7 steps. We are done with the SDLC. So we are done with the plan, we are done with the code, build as well as test. And also we are done with the deploy, operate as well as monitor. Now, anyone has any doubts over these 7 points? So please let me know. Anyone has any doubts from the 7 points? Clear? Done. Now, so here my question was like, development team has done their part and operational team has doing their job well. Operational team has doing their job well. Now here my question was like, where is the DevOps involvement? Where is the DevOps involvement? Development team has done their part. Operational team has doing their job well. Where is the DevOps involved? Can anyone? Whether it is right or wrong, you can answer, guys. No problem.
DevOps mean testing.
So any alternative answers? Great. Any alternative answers? Okay. Let me go with simple points. So let me tell you how DevOps was came. Later we are going to see what exactly the mean of DevOps. Let me tell you how DevOps was came. So once I have deployed my application over the server, my application has been failed. Once I have deployed my application over the server, my application has been failed. So once our application has been failed in the server, so ultimately there is a confusion between development team as well as operational team. So ultimately there is a confusion between development team as well as operational team. So what was the confusion here? Let me tell you. So once our application has been failed in the server, the operational team will say to the development team, what they will say? So our application has been failed in the server. So our application contains bugs. Our application contains bugs. Our application contains errors. So these type of reasons, operational team will say to the development team. Operational team will say to the development team. But development team, what they will say, whatever the 100% test cases passed code we have given to you, you haven't performed operational well. So that's the reason our application has been failed. So are you getting point here, guys? So see, operational team will say to the development team, what they will say, our application contains bugs, our application contains errors. So that's the reason our application has been failed. But development team, what they will say, whatever the 100% test cases passed code we have given to you, you haven't performed operational well. So that's the reason our application has been failed. Now, to avoid this confusion, to break this confusion, we are having the DevOps team. What we are having here? We are having the DevOps team. So if you observe carefully, in the DevOps, the first three letters will represent dev, nothing but what? Development team. Okay. So the last three letters will represent nothing but what? Ops, nothing but what? Operational team. So together called DevOps. This team is going to involve in the both the teams. So they are going to involve in the development team. They are going to involve in the operational team. So this team can get to know that where was the exact issue. So in upcoming classes, so you guys can able to understand where was the exact issue. So we are going to sort out that one. Okay, so just try to understand the theoretical concept here. So later we are going to do it practically. No problem. Okay. Clear? How DevOps was came online. So my concentration is going to be most probably for the online candidates only. Why? Because offline guys can able to listen, can able to answer that. Clear for all of you? How DevOps was came. Yes, that's perfect. Great. Next. After that, what we are having here? We are having the DevOps lifecycle. What we are having? DevOps lifecycle. So if you observe the DevOps logo, this symbol will represent, I mean to say this logo will represent one symbol. What was that? Can anyone? Can anyone? This logo will represent one symbol.
Cycle.
Sorry.
Code plan.
Yeah, these faces are going to be the SDLC. But my question was like, this symbol will represent, I mean, this logo will represent one symbol. Continue. Correction. Okay. So infinity, right? Infinite. Right up. Now, here my question was again like continuous life cycle integration. Great. So basically, it's going to be the infinity, right or not? Now, again, my question was like, what is mean by infinity? What is mean by infinity?
There is no end.
There is no end. Perfect. So, in the same manner, for the DevOps also, there is no end. It's going to be the never end. Let me tell you why DevOps has never ending process. Let's say initially what we have created, guys, we have created the Paytm, right or not? In that Paytm, what we have created 5 services. Okay, what we have created the recharge, bank transactions, movie tickets, train tickets, as well as bus tickets. Let's say this is our Paytm application version 1. To create our Paytm application version 1, what I have done? I have done the plan, code, build, as well as test. And also we have done deploy, operate, as well as monitor. So there will be another phase called release, right? So as of now, you can ignore this one. I will tell you what is meant by release at the end, not now. Okay. So observe 7 steps to create our Paytm application version 1. What I have done? I have done the plan, code, build, as well as test. And also we have done deploy, operate, as well as monitor. Okay. Now, after 1 year, the Paytm owner has come up with new idea. What he's saying means my Paytm application is booming in the world. I want to upgrade from Paytm application version 1 to Paytm application version 2. So in the version 2, let's say totally I am having 7 services. In the version 1, we are having only 5 services. In the version 2, totally I want to
బాత్రూమ్ పోయాడా వాడు
7 services.
ఉండు.
Okay. So just try to mute yourself. So see here. In the version 2, totally I am having 7 services. Old 5, old 5 to new futures. Old 5 to new futures. So these 2 new features are nothing but metro tickets I want to implement, and also I want to implement DTH. So this is my plan now. I want to implement metro tickets as well as DTH. So once we are done with the plan, regarding these metro tickets as well as DTH, I need to write the code. We need to build it. We need to test it. We need to deploy that one, operate, as well as monitor we need to do. We are done with the version 2. Again, I want to upgrade from version 2 to version 3. Again, I want to upgrade from Paytm version 2 to Paytm version 3. So in the version 3, totally I am having 10 services. Totally I am having 10 services. Okay. So we are having old 7, 3 new futures. Old 7, 3 new futures. According to these 3 new futures, again I need to write the code. We need to build it. We need to test it. We need to deploy, operate, as well as monitor. So if you observe carefully, when the versions are increasing, this loop is repeating. Right or not? That's the reason DevOps has never-ending process. So remember, I have taken Paytm as the example. Guys. Not only for the Paytm, as we are using the number of applications daily. So we are using the PhonePe, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, Snapshot, even ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Copilot, all are the AIs, right? So these AIs are also handled by the DevOps team. These AIs are also hosted in the cloud. These AIs are running in the DevOps tools only. Without DevOps, there is no even single application in the market. So just try to imagine, without WhatsApp, do we can able to survive in the market? Without WhatsApp, do we can able to survive in the market? Without PhonePe, do we can? No, right? The same manner, I mean to say, that's for the importance of DevOps. Okay. So after this, what we are having? We are having the before DevOps. So basically, DevOps was come in the year of 2009. Which year? 2009. But before 2009, if you want to create any application, what methodologies we are going to use? We are going to use the waterfall methodology. So as we are moving from the waterfall model to the DevOps model, as we are moving from waterfall model to the DevOps model. So ultimately, we are having some drawbacks in the waterfall model, right or not? We are having some drawbacks. So before going to discuss about the drawbacks that are present in the waterfall model, let me go with simple scenario. Let's say this is me. This is me. So totally I'm at waterfalls. I'm at waterfalls. So now my water was started at here. My water was started at here. After some time, my water was at here. Now here my question was like, did my water will go up again? Did my water will go up again? Online. Did my water will go up again? So ultimately, no, right? Now, so in the same manner, this is a waterfall model workflow. This is a waterfall model workflow. Let's say if you have failed in the verification part, if you have failed in the verification part, you can't go back to the implementation phase. Or if you have failed in the implementation phase, you can't go back to the designing part. Okay. So ultimately, we can't go back to the previous step. Ultimately, we can't go back to the previous step. So remember, if you have failed in the verification, you can't go back to the implementation. So if you have failed in the implementation, you can't go back to the designing part. So ultimately, we can't go back to the previous step. And also, observe carefully, to come to the verification part, let's say it has been taken 3 years of time. It has been taken 3 years of time. So totally we have wasted of our time, right? Totally we have waste of our time. And also for this 3 years of time, I need to provide the salary for the developers. Ultimately, we have wasted of our money. So here time was waste as well as money also wasted. So these are the drawbacks that are present in the waterfall model. Clear? Drawbacks that are present in the waterfall model. Great. So after that, what we are having? We are having the agile methodology. So to overcome that one, we are having agile methodology. So what is meant by agile methodology? Again, let me go with simple example. I am having the Paytm application, which is having 15 services. Now let us try to split 5, 5, and then 5. So we are having here 5, 5, 5. So dividing the larger application into the parts, dividing the larger application into the parts, and releasing them as a sprint. Are nothing but what? Agile methodology. Agile methodology. Dividing the larger application into the parts, and releasing them as a sprint are nothing but what? Agile methodology. So, what about the drawbacks? So, let's say in the agile methodology, if you have failed in the test part, you can go back to the build phase. Or if you have failed in the build phase, you can go back to the designing part. So, ultimately, we can go back to the previous step. So, the moment you are going to the previous step, we can save our time. We can save our money as well. Right or not? Once we are moving to the previous step, we can save our time as well as we can save our money. So clear for all of you about the Agile methodology. Great. Perfect. Now, so after this, what we are having? We are having the DevOps history. So see here, DevOps was oriented in the year of 2008. But what I have said, guys? What I have said? 2009. So basically, it was coming year of 2009 only. So just orientation was happened in the year of 2008. Okay. So it was originally discussion between two people. Who are they? Patrick DBS as well as Andrew Clay. Okay. So what was the discussion? Once the application has been failed in the server, ultimately there is a so there is a conflict between development team as well as operational team, right? What if avoid this confusion? What if break this confusion? So that was a discussion happened between Patrick DBS as well as Andrew Clay. Now, in the year of 2009, so see, in the year of 2009, they held a summit at Belgium. What was the summit here? What if DevOps comes into the market? This was the summit happened at 2009, where in the Belgium. Okay, so after this summit, DevOps has introduced. Clear for all of you? Next. In the year of 2014, the annual state DevOps report was published. Okay. In that report, they are saying like DevOps is going to be very high demand in the market. Next, if DevOps had birth certificate, then the father would be Patrick DBS. So ultimately, he is the inventor of DevOps. Who is he? Ultimately, Patrick DBS is going to be the inventor for your DevOps. Clear for all of you about the history here? I will provide you all these notes over the drive, so you can get it from the drive. No problem. Don't write any notes on here. I will provide that. Next, after that, what we are having? We are having tools used in DevOps. So if you observe carefully, so this is completely the SDLC, plan, code, build, as well as test, and also deploy, operate, as well as monitor. Okay. Now, first one, what we are having? We are having the plan. What we are having here? We are having the plan. So remember, for the planning purpose, there is no tool. We are not going to learn any tool. So why? Because so planning is going to be the thoughts, right? What type of application we are going to create, how many services we are going to be implement, what type of technology we are going to use, what is the timeline, what is the budget, what is the cloud. So this is completely about the plan. So it's just for ideas, just for thoughts. For that, we are not having any tool. We are not going to learn anything. So after plan, what we are having, guys? We are having the code. Now, at the end, who will write the code? At the end, who will write the code? Development team will write the code. Okay. So after writing the code, they need to save the code, right or not? After writing the code, then
That's live class video.
save the code.
It's reading work. It's online live.
Okay. After writing the code, they need to save the code. To save the code, to track the code, we are having the Git as well as GitHub. Also, we are having Azure repos. We are going to learn three. We are going to learn Git, GitHub, as well as Azure repos. So basically, we are having a tool called Subversion as well as Jira. Nowadays, no one is using, all are using Git, GitHub, as well as Azure repos. We are going to cover these three in our course. Next, after code, what we are having? We are having the build. To build our code, we are having Maven and Gradle. But what we are going to learn? We are going to learn Maven. What we are going to learn here? We are going to learn Maven. So remember guys, so whatever the tools I am highlighting, so it was the important tools. So nowadays market they are using. That tools only they are going to use. I mean to say, using these tools, so this was trending. So we are going to learn Maven. Also we are going to learn MS Build. We are going to learn MS Build. Next, after build, what we are having? We are having the test. So to test our code, who will do testing first? QA team, right? So they are going to use Selenium as well as JUnit. We are not going to learn any tools here. Completely testers will handle these tools. Selenium as well as JUnit. According to their requirement, they are going to use. Okay. So after test, what we are having? We are having the deploy. So to deploy our code, we are having Docker, Vagrant, Puppet, Chef, Stack, as well as Ansible. But what we are going to learn? We are going to learn like Docker as well as Ansible. So Vagrant, Puppet, Chef, Stack. So these all are the old tools. Nowadays, no one is using. All are using Docker as well as Ansible. Okay. So in our course, we are going to learn Docker as well as Ansible. Okay. Next, after deploy, what we are having? We are having the operate. So to operate our code, we are having the most important tool as well as trending tool. Without this tool, he is not a DevOps engineer. So can anyone? Important tool. Can anyone? IAC. So okay. So this is also the important one. But for the operation, I'm asking. IAC is the tool to create the infrastructure. Great. So it's going to be the like Kubernetes. What was that? Kubernetes. Perfect. What was that? Kubernetes. So we are going to spend a very lot of time regarding Docker as well as Kubernetes. So we are going to spend around 30 days. Okay, so I'm going to deliver very in depth. So whatever the knowledge I'm having, I'm going to deliver on here. So we are going to spend a very lot of time. Okay. So after operate, what we are having? We are having the monitor. So to monitor our code, we are having the ELK, Plunk, Nagios. But what we are going to learn? We are going to learn like Prometheus, Grafana, Node Exporter, and also we are going to learn Datadog. We are going to learn. Okay. Next. So to integrate all these tools, we are having an integration tool like Jenkins. So for the Jenkins alternates, we are having Bamboo as well as Hudson. No one is using Bamboo Hudson. All are using Jenkins. So we are going to learn Jenkins. Okay. Also, I have not mentioned some tools here. So we are going to learn Terraform. We are going to learn SonarQube, Nexus. Okay, Tomcat. So we are going to learn a very lot of tools. So Trivi, OASPO. So we are having. So I haven't mentioned all those tools on. Okay. So these are the tools that we are going to cover in our course. So clear for all of you? What are the tools we are having and what we are going to learn? Great. So guys, so that's it from mine for today. So if you are having any doubts, you can ask. Any doubts from this? Any change for Azure DevOps? So basically, if you observe DevOps is going to be the common point for AWS as well as Azure. So we are going to learn the DevOps first. Later, we are going to implement those DevOps on the Azure as well as AWS. So here clouds are going to be the different, but the purpose is going to be the same. So if you want to learn DevOps, so we should have one cloud. Either it is going to be the AWS, either it is going to be the Azure. Okay. So first we are going to learn the DevOps. Later we are going to implement those DevOps on the cloud. Hope you clear for all of
Yes. What about AI?
you. Yes. So basically AI is going to integrate on the pipelines. So before AI, what was the scenario, So if my pipeline was failed, okay, so I need to read entire my log. But the moment I am implementing the AI on my pipeline, so it is going to trace out where was the exact issue. So it is going to be highlight that one. So we are going to read that log. We are going to sort out that. So I will guide you. Next session was like recording that.
What about DevSecOps you mentioned?
Yeah, DevSecOps. So if you observe Dev, the first related is Dev. So the last related was Ops. Between that, what we are having Sec, nothing but security. So for the security purpose, we are going to integrate the Trivi, Sonar Cube we are having. So we are going to integrate that security.
So you're following the curriculum of multi-cloud with DevOps, but you're including AI and DevSecOps. Is that right?
I need to update the syllabus. So basically, it was updated on the last year. So whatever the trending tools now we are having in the market, we are going to deliver that one. So as I am Azure DevOps engineer, so whatever the tools we are using daily in my day-to-day activities, so I'm going to deliver on.
Also, will you cover in this course?
What was that?
AI, will you cover in this course?
Yes, we are going to cover that one. So any alternative doubts as well as concerns?
Could you please share what is the exact curriculum you are going to? Is it possible?
Yeah, right now, I mean to say it was not. So you will get by 10 o'clock.
Okay, sure.
No problem. It was very in-depth and also it is going to be the real time and also we are going to cover 5 real-time projects end to end. So any alternative doubts as well as concerns? Okay then, bye all. Have a nice day.